You've probably heard that eggs are one of the healthiest foods on earth, full of protein, cheap, versatile. For decades, they've sat quietly in your fridge, part of your breakfast, your baking, your life. But what if I told you that how you eat them could be silently hurting you? Especially after 50, your body becomes more sensitive to inflammation, bacterial exposure, and poor nutrient absorption. And one simple mistake that millions make every day with eggs can turn this so-called superfood into a quiet threat. You might think you're doing everything right. Boiling eggs, eating them for energy, using them in your protein shakes. But there's one overlooked detail in how you prepare or store them that could increase your risk of foodborne illness, nutrient deficiency, and even long-term health complications, especially for older adults. Let's start with a scene you've probably seen in movies. Raw egg in a glass. Maybe in a blender. Maybe just cracked straight into a protein shake. Some people still do it. They believe it boosts strength, helps with muscle gain, or aids recovery. But that image, it's not just outdated, it's dangerous. Raw egg whites contain a protein called avidin. Avidin binds to biotin, a critical B vitamin needed for your skin, your nails, your hair, but especially your nervous system. When avidin binds to it, biotin becomes unavailable. You're not absorbing it, you're actually blocking it. And here's what almost no one tells you. Biotin deficiency doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in. Fatigue, tingling in your limbs, brittle nails, hair thinning, memory lapses. You don't think eggs are the culprit, but in the wrong form, they might be. And it gets worse. Raw eggs, especially from unknown sources, can carry salmonella. A single contaminated egg can cause vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, hospitalization, and in some cases, death. For children, pregnant women, and older adults, the risk is even higher. The terrifying part, you can't see it, smell it, taste it. Salmonella doesn't change the color or texture of the egg, so when you crack that raw egg into your shake or use it in a homemade sauce without cooking, you're gambling. And the odds aren't in your favor. Now you might be thinking, but I've done this for years, I've never gotten sick. That's not a reason, that's just luck. The person who does get sick often regrets it forever. But it's not just about raw eggs. It's also how you cook them, and even how you store them. For example, did you know that washing your eggs before storing them actually makes them more vulnerable to bacteria? Eggs naturally have a protective coating on their shells. It's nature's seal against pathogens. When you wash them, you strip that layer off. The shell is porous. You've now opened the door for bacteria to creep in silently, especially if stored in a warm kitchen. So what's the safe way? Never wash eggs before storing. Keep them in the refrigerator and not in the door. Why not the door? Because that area experiences the most temperature fluctuations every time you open and close it. That moisture, that condensation. It's a highway for bacteria. Now let's talk about freshness. There's a simple trick. Fill a glass with water, drop the egg in. If it sinks and lies flat, it's fresh. If it tilts or stands upright, it's older but still usable. If it floats, throw it away. That egg is dangerous. And when it comes to cooking, most people make a critical mistake. The type of oil they use. Vegetable oils like corn or sunflower oil oxidize fast under heat. That smoke you sometimes see in the pan, that's not flavor. That's toxins being released into your food. Oxidized oils are inflammatory. They harm your arteries. They increase your risk of heart disease. And for adults over 50, this kind of chronic inflammation adds up, over years, in silence. So what do you do instead? Try soft-boiled, hard-boiled, or scrambled eggs, without oil or using safe fats like olive oil on low heat, avocado oil, or ghee in moderation. Never overheat, and never reuse cooking oils. If you've ever struggled to peel a boiled egg, here's a trick. Drop it immediately into cold water after boiling. That thermal shock loosens the shell from the white. Start peeling from the base, where the air pocket is. The shell should come off clean. No more mess, no more frustration. Now let's talk about something delicious. Homemade mayonnaise. Most people use raw egg yolks, but now you know that raw eggs carry risk. So what if I told you there's a safer way? Here's the trick. Make mayonnaise with boiled egg yolks. Blend them with a drizzle of olive oil, a dash of mustard, a pinch of salt, a bit of lemon. Optional: garlic. In seconds, you get a thick, creamy and safe spread with zero risk of salmonella. You can even switch the oil to avocado for a healthier fat profile. This mayo lasts in the fridge up to 5 days, as long as you keep it sealed and cold. No preservatives, no chemicals, just flavor. Speaking of egg yolks, have you ever noticed some are bright orange while others are pale yellow? What does it mean? The color of the yolk isn't about freshness, it's about what the chicken was fed. Bright orange yolks come from hens fed on fresh greens, corn, or carotenoid-rich foods. Pale yolks often come from industrial diets. Both are nutritious, but deeper color can indicate better diet quality. Now here's a deeper truth. As you age, your digestive enzymes decline. You absorb fewer nutrients, so every bite you take matters more than ever. And eggs, when handled right, can be one of your best allies. But when handled wrong, they can become a perfect storm. Poor protein absorption, blocked vitamins, bacterial threats, oxidized fats, and unnecessary inflammation. So let's recap. Never eat raw eggs in shakes, sauces, or recipes. Always store them unwashed, refrigerated, and never in the fridge door. Cook them gently, choose the right oils, learn to peel them easily, and when in doubt, test their freshness with water. Choose eggs with care. Handle them with respect, because food can heal or silently harm. And if you've made it this far, maybe something inside you is shifting. Maybe you've been eating eggs the same way for decades without knowing these truths. Maybe someone you love has been cracking raw eggs into their blender for protein. Maybe you've had food poisoning once and never knew the source. You can still enjoy your eggs, you should, but do it smart, do it safe. And share this knowledge with someone you love, because what seems like a small breakfast habit could be a life-altering decision. Comment I receive below if this message helped you. I read every single one. And when you write it, you're taking a stand for truth, for health, for prevention. Hit like if you learned something new, so this video reaches others who need to hear this warning before it's too late. If this message opened your eyes, subscribe to this channel now, especially if you're over 50 or care for someone who is. Don't ignore these small details. They're not small. And watch the next video on your screen. It reveals another everyday food that silently destroys your metabolism. Watch it now, before your next bite.